Hi there, this is a video response for Miss Finish Bat's video on moral abortion. Please go check it out and see what she has to say. She did a great job defining it. Sorry, me and my hiccups. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you guys about with regards to this is my views and give you a little bit of background into me, because this is something that kind of touches home for me. Personally, I don't think that your first line of birth control should be an abortion. I think you should be utilizing safe sex practices, and I think sex education is extremely important. I personally, with my son, he is now 4 years old. He knows what a condom is. He knows what a pill is. He's known that mommy has an IUD since the day mommy got it when he was a year old. I do not hide my son from anything with regards to that. He, in fact, at 4, knows more about what a period is, what an erection is, what the importance of keeping clean, the importance of wearing a condom and all those things than I did at 16. I was one of those kids that thought that when you had your period it was blue. I was so poorly educated with it. So I feel it's very, very important to be frank, open, honest. If your children ask questions, to answer them. And with regards to abortion, I think, barring certain circumstances, it should be accessible. Not barring, but under certain circumstances, it should be accessible. And those circumstances are things like, if you know you cannot afford, or you cannot make a way to afford that child, that child will wind up in foster care because you can't take care of them, you really shouldn't have one. If you know that there's a high risk of your child having a genetic disease that you or both of your partners carry, you should have an abortion. If you know that your child is going to have a very serious birth defect in the first ultrasound, I believe it's the mother's right to have an abortion. I personally believe that both the mother and the father should speak to each other with regards to it, but ultimately the mother has veto power when it comes to the decision to have an abortion. I know that might sound a little cold, but it's the mother's body. I've known friends of mine where the mother had she had some sort of a cyst, I can't remember what kind, where basically the doctor told her, if you carry this baby to term, it might kill you. And her husband really, really wanted a child, but she didn't want to die. And the answer was, what's more important to you, your life or pissing him off? And she chose her life. The fact that he left her shortly afterward is his own problem. But you know, that's neither here nor there. I feel that it's very important that it should be, every child should have a warm, loving home. You know, there's certain people that have children to have pets, pretty much, and those are the kind of people that really shouldn't. But let me give you guys a little bit of a backstory to kind of elaborate on this, because when as some of you might know, I have a son. He is 4 years old now. I found out I was pregnant when I was 18 years old, just shy of 18 years old. And oh no, yeah, no, it was 18 going on 19 years old. So I just want to explain. When I first became a pagan, a Wiccan. Um, as part of my connection with the gods, I asked the gods for guidance with regards to my life, and I asked them to help me because I didn't know what I wanted to do. My high school years were ending, and I couldn't see what was going to happen next. There was no future. And so I asked them, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to get married? Am I supposed to go to college? I don't know. And I asked them to help me, to show me what I need to do. And I also asked that because as a child, never wanted to play with dolls. Never thought the idea of the white wedding, like, wasn't a typical girl in that sense of, like, I want to grow up and be a mommy thing. And, if you had asked me at 16 whether or not I was ever going to get pregnant, the answer was no. Um, I had no desire, no maternal desire at all. And I asked the gods that if I were to be a parent, that it be in their court. Now, mind you, I was using safe sex practices. I was on the pill. We were using condoms with my ex and I, my son's father. I was always very concerned about it. I was very well regulated and things like that, and concerned with my sexual health. But the way that I looked at it was, if I got pregnant, that was the time for me to get pregnant. That was the way that the gods needed it, or wanted it for me. And I found out after my son was born that my ex had switched my pills for placebos, because I used to throw the placebos away, and he was saving them and switched my pills for placebos, and he was piercing holes in the condoms. His justification was that if we had a child, I wouldn't leave him, and he could continue to abuse me. I was just a little over 18 when I got pregnant. I wrestled with whether or not I should keep him, and in the end I remembered my oath and decided that was what was necessary. We were definitely not in a position to have a child. We did not even have a place to rent. I had barely had a job and lost it due to being put on bed rest. My employer decided to fire me because I was on bed rest. I wound up being moved over and over and over again. My ex even abandoned me during the pregnancy for a month. And shortly after Julian was born, he had abandoned us as well. But the thing is what I've found is it has made me into a better person having him. He has given me the reason to stand up for myself, for what I believe in, and for what I feel is right. If it weren't for him, I probably would have committed suicide by now. Probably a couple of years ago. And if it weren't for Julian, I wouldn't have gone back to school. I wouldn't be back in the city that I'm in. None of this. Things wouldn't be as good as they are. Period. And I do definitely consider him a gift from the gods. But I felt that the whole way through my pregnancy, that if there was something that were to go wrong, if a test were to come back and say, his brain isn't developing, it would hurt me, but I would have let him go.